Imagine waking up to a world gone silent. Not the gentle hush of a peaceful morning, but a silence that feels unnatural, almost heavy. The familiar hum of notifications, the distant buzz of messages, all replaced by an eerie stillness that settles over everything. Outside, the city streets are empty, and inside homes feel strangely hollow. It's not just quiet, it's as if the world itself is holding its breath, waiting for something that never comes. On what should have been an ordinary Tuesday, the internet simply vanished. No warning, no explanation, just gone, as if it had never existed. The usual pings and alerts were gone. Devices showed only blank screens. Laptops, tablets, and phones all stared back, lifeless and unresponsive. Across the globe, billions reached for their phones only to find nothing. Confusion quickly turned to disbelief as people realized this wasn't just a glitch. No news, no emails, no messages, just a digital void. The silence grew louder with every passing minute. At first, people blamed their Wi-Fi, frantically resetting routers and toggling settings, but soon realized it was everywhere, affecting everyone. From Mumbai to Chicago, the world's digital heartbeat had flatlined. No city, no country was spared from the sudden blackout. Panic set in as the reality hit. This was global. Conversations grew tense and uncertainty spread faster than any virus. News channels struggled, relying on old satellite feeds for scraps of information. Journalists scrambled to piece together what little they could. The intricate web connecting our lives had been torn apart. The invisible threads that once bound us together were suddenly brutally severed. Social media stars, remote workers, students, everyone was cut off. The world's routines, relationships, and livelihoods were thrown into chaos. The world felt suddenly vast and fragmented, each of us isolated islands. The distance between us, once bridged by technology, now felt insurmountable. The great disconnection had begun, and no one knew when it would end. In that silent dawn, humanity faced a new kind of loneliness, one that stretched across continents, uniting us in uncertainty. The internet's disappearance was a catastrophic failure, a sudden and unimaginable event that sent shockwaves through every corner of society. In an instant, the invisible threads that connected billions of lives were severed, leaving people everywhere in disbelief and confusion. It was as if the world's nervous system had been cut, leaving cities and nations numb, unable to react or communicate. The digital heartbeat of civilization simply stopped. Stock markets froze in place, their screens locked on numbers that no longer mattered. Banks couldn't process transactions, ATMs failed, and money stopped flowing, leaving millions unable to access their savings or pay for essentials. Airports descended into chaos, planes were grounded, passengers stranded in terminals with no information, and the global flow of people and goods came to a grinding halt. Smart cities became paralyzed, traffic lights blinked in confusion, public transport failed, and commuters were left stranded, unsure of how to get home or reach loved ones. Overnight, work from home vanished. Offices and supply chains fractured, warehouses stood idle, and productivity ground to a halt as businesses struggled to adapt. Smart homes became dumb, schools closed their doors, and parents scrambled to find answers, suddenly cut off from the digital lifelines they had come to depend on. The ripple effect was a cascade of failures, each system toppling the next, exposing just how deeply our digital and physical worlds had merged and how fragile that connection truly was. We had built a magnificent world on code, an intricate web of technology and trust, and in a single moment, that foundation had just crumbled beneath our feet. The world stood still, powerless and uncertain, as humanity faced a new reality, a future without the digital heartbeat it once took for granted. We'd seen outages before, but nothing like this. Past blackouts were mere warnings, temporary, fixable, with alternatives. This time the entire digital infrastructure was inert. There were no backups. The protocols themselves were gone, as if the internet's language had been erased. Previous tremors had shown our fragility, but we ignored the signs. We patched cracks and built higher, never preparing for total collapse. Now, the warnings of the past echoed as a deafening roar of failure. The digital apocalypse had arrived, and we were unprepared. As panic faded, something unexpected happened. Without screens, people looked up and connected with neighbors. Children played outside, inventing games and rediscovering joy. Families gathered, talking and sharing meals without digital distractions. The silence filled with conversation, laughter, and community. In city squares, people huddled around radios for news. Strangers helped each other, forging new bonds. The blackout stripped away digital isolation, revealing our social nature. We remembered that our strongest network is human, not digital. The day became a lesson in presence, simplicity, and connection. Then, as mysteriously as it vanished, the internet returned. Screens flickered back to life, notifications poured in, and the world's digital heartbeat resumed its familiar rhythm. For a moment, it felt as if a collective breath had been held and finally released. A global sigh of relief swept the planet, but so did reflection. People everywhere paused, grateful for reconnection, yet changed by the experience. The outage had left a mark, a memory that wouldn't fade quickly. The day of silence exposed our vulnerability and forced a reckoning. It revealed just how much we rely on invisible networks and how quickly our routines can unravel when they disappear. Governments, businesses, and individuals began rethinking digital dependency. Emergency plans were drafted, and conversations about resilience and security took center stage in boardrooms and living rooms alike. People cultivated healthier tech habits and valued face-to-face interaction. Communities rediscovered the joy of simple pleasures, conversations, laughter, and shared moments without screens. Schools and companies created backup plans and revived analog skills. Old tools found new purpose, and the importance of adaptability became clear to all. We didn't abandon technology but learned to use it more mindfully. The experience taught us to balance our digital lives with real-world presence, making space for both connection and solitude. The Great Disconnection became a catalyst for change and resilience. It inspired innovation, strengthened communities, and reminded us of our capacity to adapt and thrive together. Our greatest strength proved to be human connection, not code. In the end, it was our relationships, empathy, and cooperation that carried us through uncertainty. The silence left a lasting echo and a question. If it happened again, what would you do? Would you be ready to reconnect not just online but with the world around you? One click, infinite angles. Subscribe to UR Faiz now.